Hello fellow adventurers, welcome back to another video. Today's Wednesday, so this is Waffle on a Wednesday where I answer your questions to the best of my ability, and boy have I got a show for you today, so sit back, hold tight, buckle up and enjoy the ride. Now I want to start off today's show by saying a heartfelt thank you to Phil Powell, who left a super thanks, but not only did he leave a super thanks, he also left a really nice comment that I'd like to share with you. Thanks for all your brilliant vlogs, Mel. I can't tell you how much I look forward to watching each new one. I was lost recently when you didn't do any hashtag waffle on a Wednesdays, so pleased they're back. Keep up the excellent work, mate. Phil, thank you so much for your generous support and kind words. I'm thrilled to hear that you enjoy my vlogs and that you look forward to each new one. I apologise for the break in hashtag waffle on a Wednesday, but I did actually need a little bit of time out to reassess what I'm doing here on my channel. But I'm pleased to say the Waffle on a Wednesday is back. And thanks to the generosity and kind support of people such as yourself, it really does encourage me to continue filming Waffle on a Wednesday. So thank you, buddy, really do appreciate it. Now, whilst on the subject of encouraging comments, I'd like to read out this comment made by Nikki Jarwood. Can I just say how much I love your Waffle on a Wednesday videos? You're so informative and it's helping me out on my camper van build, which has only just started. Hey Nikki, thanks for your lovely comment, and I'm glad you're enjoying my Waffle on a Wednesday videos. I'm thrilled to hear that you find them informative and helpful for your own camper van build. It's fantastic to be part of your journey, especially as you're just starting out. If you ever have any specific questions or topics that you'd like me to cover, do feel free to let me know. Thanks for being part of this amazing community, and I wish you all the best of luck with your camper van. Keep up the great work and don't hesitate to reach out if ever you do need any assistance. Happy building. I think it's time I answered some questions, and the first one comes from Delightful17. Hi Mel, can you tell me the best way to do my ceiling, as I don't want to lose any height as my van is a H1. Is it better to ply and cover or to clad? I've seen some battening along the sides of the roof rib to keep it level with the rib. Would that work? Hey Delightful17, thanks for reaching out with your question. You really don't want to lose any precious headroom in your H1 van, and we totally get it. When it comes to ceilings, you've got a couple of options to consider. Plywood is a versatile choice that can give you a clean and seamless look while keeping the height intact. Just make sure that you secure it properly to your existing ribs in your van. If you want a sleek finish, cladding is another option, and it's my favourite option, as you can probably tell. But there are more options other than just wooden cladding. You could also use PVC panels and fix those directly to your ceiling. That way you can maintain as much headspace as possible while adding a little bit of style. Now about those battens along the roof ribs, yeah, they can help create a nice level surface for your chosen ceiling material, so it's a clever solution. Just keeps everything nice and even. And don't forget, there are a ton of online resources you can tap into, like YouTube for instance. And remember that YouTube is an amazing resource for inspiration. Try and watch some van tour videos, and it just so happens that Rebecca recently did a van tour video, and the ceiling in that van is really slick. It's really quite something else, so it's well worth watching Rebecca's latest video. I'll put a link to that video up here purely for your convenience. I hope you enjoy. And once again, thanks for the great question and good luck with your van build. Now it would appear that Ivan's got a bit of a problem with his solar charging system, or has he? Let me read out the question. This is quite interesting because I've had this crop up before in conversations with people, and it's the first time someone has actually asked this question. Hi Mel, never wrote here before. Want to thank you for sharing your experience living in van, as not many of us can actually do so. I hope my time is coming soon. I have a concern about my solar charging and will be much appreciated if you can share your opinion. My solar panel is 270 watts, but the maximum charging amps showing on the monitor is around 7 amps. In August, I know I can't expect 100% efficiency, but that seems to be way low. What do you think could be the problem? Well, Ivan, there are a few things that could be wrong, but it may not be as bad as you think. I digress. Now, whilst it's true that you won't achieve 100% efficiency, a charging rate of around 7 amps for a 270 watt solar panel does seem a little bit lower than expected. There could be a few reasons for this. The sunlight's intensity, for instance. The charging rate of a solar panel depends on the intensity of the sunlight. If you're experiencing cloudy or overcast weather conditions, it can affect the charging performance. Checking the weather conditions during times you're monitoring the charging rate can give you some insight. And then of course there's paneling positioning. The position of your solar panel is really important, and also make sure it's free from any shading or obstructions like branches or buildings that could block the sunlight. Now I'm kind of guessing your main concern is to do with your wiring and the connections, because faulty or loose wiring connections can also lead to low power and power loss. Double check your wiring connections to ensure they're secure and properly connected. A good way to do that is to simply just go around and give them a little tug, make sure the screws are done up nice and tight, just to check that you have got a proper connection. But here's the one thing that a lot of people kind of overlook, and that is the state of your battery charge. If your battery is already close to being fully charged, the charging rate may naturally decrease. Make sure to monitor the state of your charge of your battery and observe if the charging rate improves when it's at a lower level. So it could be the simple fact that your battery is fully charged, therefore your monitor will only show that there's 7 amps going into your battery. I do hope that is the case. And like I said earlier, I've had this conversation with people in the past where they say, oh, my batteries aren't charging. It's because your batteries are already charged up. So you may find you haven't got a problem at all. And I really do hope that that is the case, that your batteries are simply already charged up. Please do let us know next week by leaving a comment in this video. I'd really appreciate some feedback, and I'm sure our viewers would too. Thank you. Well, it's that time of the day you've all been waiting for, and that's this week's Troll of the Week.
Troll of the Week.
And this week's Troll of the Week is James W. Barry, who took it upon himself to represent my entire audience. He simply left this rude and rather short comment: we don't need another van-built vid-o. Well, James Barry, first of all, before you leave a comment on my videos, could you please check your spelling or your typing before hitting the enter button, because it just makes it a little bit easier for me to read and decipher what it is you're trying to say. Now, as for representing my entire audience by saying we don't need another van-built video, what do you need? Tell me, James, please do tell me what you need. What is it you want from me? I'd be dying to know. Feel free to leave a comment in this week's video. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for being part of this amazing community and representing my entire audience. I really do appreciate that, and I'm sure they do too. Right, so enough joking around. Let's get to a really serious question. This comes from Christine Walters, and she starts by saying #waffle on a Wednesday. Thank you, Christine, for using #waffle on a Wednesday. It makes it so much easier for me to find your questions. Hi Mel, hope I got the hashtag thingy right. Yes, you did, Christine. You got it absolutely spot on. I bought a buddy heater to use in my Sprinter. I haven't used it yet, thank goodness. As I understand, I'll need to have a vent hole in the floor to allow the CO2 to escape. I'm actually terrified of putting a hole in my van, so I want to make sure I get it right. So I'd like to ask you, Mel, where would be the best place to put said hole? I'm thinking the step area at the sliding door, as it's the lowest point, but the step has a plastic mould covering it. Well, Christine, I'd like to start off by saying thank you so much for using #waffle on a Wednesday. After all, it does make it a lot easier for me to find your questions, and thank goodness I did find your question. Christine, please don't use a buddy heater in your camper van unless you're in dire straits and you really need to, and even then, if you really do need to use one of those buddy heaters in your camper van, please do make sure you've got adequate ventilation. But you are absolutely right. The step in your camper van is the lowest point, and if you want to vent from there, all you need to do is remove the rubber seal along the bottom of the step, and then when you shut the door, you'll be able to see a nice big air gap all the way along the door, And if you cut that trim each end, if you do have to use your buddy heater, you can remove that trim with ease, giving you that ventilation that you require. But do make sure you open the 2 front windows as well, so when the cold air comes in, mixes with the hot air, it can also go out the front 2 windows. You really do need good ventilation when using a buddy heater in your camper van, because after all it is an open flame heater, and those open flame heaters burn a lot of oxygen that you need to breathe. They replace that oxygen with carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, which is highly toxic, and if you fall asleep with your heater on, you won't wake up. It's as simple as that. So please, if you use the buddy heater in your van, switch it off before you go to sleep. Do not go to sleep with that heater running in your van, and that pretty much goes for any heater in any camper van, whether it be a buddy heater, a really expensive Webasto heater, or one of those cheap Chinese knockoffs. It's always a good idea to switch the heater off before going to bed and going to sleep. After all, we all want to wake up and enjoy the following day. Even if you do wake up feeling chilly, I'd rather wake up feeling chilly than not wake up at all, because once you're awake you can relight your heater or switch your heater back on. Remember, safety should always be your top priority, and it is always worth investing time and effort to get it right. You only get one chance. And if you're really unsure about what you're doing, please do seek professional advice. Good luck, Christine. Please stay safe out there. After all, it'd be really nice to hear from you again in the future. And thanks again for using #Waffle on a Wednesday. Now, sticking with the subject of gas heaters in camper vans, Neil Burgess didn't quite agree with my comments last week. But I guess it's kind of my fault, because I didn't make it quite clear that we're talking about gas heaters in self-converted vans. And I'm assuming people are talking about the portable gas heaters that are readily available, such as the Mr. Buddy that Christine Waters is concerned about. But nonetheless, I'd like to address Neil's comment that he made on last week's Waffle on a Wednesday, and because he does have some valid points, and it does shed some light on using gas heaters in a van. So I quote, "Hi Mel, can I please defend gas heaters?" Of course you can, Neil. "In my trailer caravan, I have a gas heater installed new by the manufacturer. It has a flue, and there are numerous small vents built into the floor, both to provide ventilation or also to prevent the build-up of gas should there be a leak. Butane propane is heavier than air, as we all know. Also, when gas is burned in a well-maintained device, carbon dioxide, CO2, is produced. Normally there would be little or no carbon monoxide emitted, so in effect it works similar to your wood burner, except that caravans probably have more floor vents. I'm not against diesel heaters, many people do very well with them." Well, what can I say? Thank you, Neil, for sharing your perspective on gas heaters in caravans. I appreciate your sharing your insights and highlighting the similarities between gas heaters and wood burners. If you have any more insights or questions, feel free to share them. Thank you again for your valuable input, and happy travels in your caravan. Well, thank you for joining me on this week's Waffle on a Wednesday. Hopefully you found it mildly entertaining, slightly informative. If you did, then I'm sure you'll find this video just as entertaining. Thanks for watching, and ta-da for now.